Do you know why your ex won't come back? I bet that's a question that you've asked yourself loads of times. Because it's the $1,000,000 question, right? Find out why they won't come back, fix it, and then try and win them back. Well, I've been through a few breakups and I've coached hundreds of clients through them as well. And after gaining all that experience, let's finally answer that question. Why won't they come back? Well, first of all, let's start with why is it so painful? Actually, just to say, if you're new here, my name's Andy and I help people move on after a breakup. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, make sure you hit the subscribe button. See, when someone walks away, your brain goes into panic mode. You start replaying everything, what you said, what they said, what you could have done differently. And underneath all that is one thing: hope. Hope that they'll wake up and realise what they've lost. Hope that if you just do enough healing and stay patient, they'll come back. But the hope is the one thing that's keeping you stuck, because it gives your brain something to hold on to when everything else feels out of control. And I get it. Hope feels better than heartbreak, right? So it's easier to imagine a happy ending than to accept a painful one. But hope isn't healing. Hope's just like a delay. It's an emotional quicksand. And during that hope, all you're trying to figure out is how to get them back. So let's answer the question. Why won't they come back? It's because the version of you that they fell for doesn't exist in their mind anymore. And the version of you that loved them doesn't exist either. You're fantasizing about a relationship between two people who no longer exist. And I know that that stings, but by the end of this video, I'm going to share a few things that can actually help you deal with that truth, so it stops controlling you. Because this is one of the hardest realities you'll ever face after a breakup. It's because the feelings that held the relationship together are just not there anymore. Think back to when you two were together, right? The connection, the laughter, the comfort, that was all real. And they felt it too. But just like you've had moments in life where something that you once loved doesn't hit the same anymore, they're experiencing that too with this relationship. It's like your favourite song, right? You play it over and over again. And at first it gives you that those chills, that euphoria. But eventually it fades. You still remember what it felt like, but you just don't feel it anymore. That's what's happened here. And that's not a reflection of your worth. It's just a reflection of change. Because people evolve, emotions shift, and the chemistry just fades. That's just part of being a human. See, when I was younger, for some crazy reason, don't ask me why, but I used to drink brandy. I clearly thought I was some connoisseur of drink or something. But then one New Year's Eve, I drank like literally half a bottle. And it made me so ill, and I mean proper ill. But ever since then, I can't even bear the smell of it, let alone taste it. Now imagine you went out on a night out with me and you bought me a glass of brandy. And I'm going to say to you, I'm not going to drink that because I just don't enjoy it anymore. And you say, well, sorry, but I'm just going to sit here until you want it again. You'd be in that bar quite a long time, because I ain't going to change my mind because I'm not drinking brandy again. You're going to be in that bar a long time, let me tell you, because I'm not going to change my mind just because you want me to. I'll repeat that again. I ain't going to change my mind just because you want me to. And you know, in that scenario, it'd be pretty crazy of you to just sit there and wait, right? Because the version of me that once liked brandy just doesn't exist anymore. Yet that's what you're doing with your ex. Like me with the brandy, there was a time that they loved you. Yeah, nobody's doubting that. But again, just like me with the brandy, they don't anymore. And that's why your ex won't come back. And you sitting and waiting isn't going to change that. But when we keep believing that those feelings will just magically return, we trap ourselves inside a story that's already ended. When you finally accept that they're not coming back, your brain panics, right? Feels like loss, like grief. Well, it is grief, because you're not losing them. You're losing the version of yourself that existed when you two were together. But here's the thing, grief ends, hope doesn't. Hope keeps you checking your phone, scrolling through their social media, searching for signs that mean nothing. Acceptance hurts, but it's a clean pain. Hope is just endless pain. That's why the people who move on the fastest are not the ones who feel the least. They're just the ones who stop waiting. So what do you do with this truth, right? Because it's one thing to hear it, but it's another thing to actually live with it. Now, I said at the start, I'd share a few things that can actually help you. Not fluffy quotes, but real strategies that actually work. Well, the first one is about rebuilding familiarity with yourself. You see, when you lose someone, your brain loses familiarity. They were your comfort zone, your home base. Now, you can't just fill that space with another person. You fill it by rebuilding routine and safety within yourself. You eat at the same time each day, you take walks, you sleep at regular hours. It all sounds dead basic, I know it does, but structure calms the nervous system, and your mind needs that to be able to heal. You can also interrupt the rumination loops. So when you catch yourself replaying the past and fantasizing about their return, stop and say it out loud. That's not my reality anymore. Literally label it, because rumination just runs on autopilot. So you've got to break the pattern consciously. And over time, your brain just learns not to go there as often. You can also detach from the identity that you had through them. So you might have built a version of yourself that was shaped by how they saw you, how they made you feel attractive, loved, needed. You've got to rebuild that identity, but without that mirror. So start asking yourself, who am I when no one's watching? What do I actually enjoy? What makes me feel alive? That's how you rebuild emotional independence. And then you can reframe the why into what now. You see, you may never fully understand why they left, but the question that matters more is, what now? What can I learn? What part of me still needs healing? The moment you switch from the why to the what now, you reclaim your power. That's the moment healing truly starts to begin. Your ex isn't coming back, not because you're not good enough, but because that chapter was meant to end, and that's why it has. You can't start the next one while you're rereading the last. The goal isn't to stop missing them, it's to just stop waiting for them, because what you're waiting for is unrealistic. It is, and I know it's hard to take, but the peace that you're looking for, it doesn't come from them returning, it comes from you returning to yourself. Now, I hope this video hit a nerve, because I know there were some uncomfortable truths, but I also know it's what you needed to hear in order to heal. None of this fluffy shit about how to win your ex back. No, it's time to get you back, and start it now. And just to say, I do have a new ebook that details exactly how I got over my ex and rebuilt my life. So if you're interested, hit the link in the description. But for now, nice one for watching, and I'll see you in the next. Laters.